Hello, Tarot Maniacs. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. In this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about Denise Richards and her soon-to-be ex-husband, Aaron. They're going through quite the contentious divorce, and I wanted to see if we could make a little yellow brick road for them, make it a little bit smoother to future lives on their own. We'll be right back. Welcome. So this is going to be a little bit different. I broke the reading up into three parts. So the first part, we're just going to look at how their marriage is, their communication styles, like what could kind of help that. And then we're going to do like a little he said, she said here. So I've got some fun facts for you. Those of you that aren't Real Housewives of wherever fans. I am not, but I was a Charlie Sheen fan. And Denise Richards married Charlie Sheen. She also took custody of Charlie Sheen and Brooke Mueller, his wife after Denise, took custody of their children when Charlie and Brooke were going through some substance issues. So I've always thought that Denise Richards was very, very pretty. One of my favorite movies, Drop Dead Gorgeous. She plays the beauty queen in it, who is absolutely vicious. And I thought she was amazing. Kirstie Alley played her mom in it. If you haven't seen it, again, Drop Dead Gorgeous, great movie. So the two of them were married. Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers, I think is how we say his name. They were married in September of 2018 after meeting in 2017. It's my understanding they were married 48 hours after they announced their engagement. So the divorce was filed July 7th, 2025, and the separation was listed as July 4th, 2025. Public court filings include some DA allegations from Denise and denials from Aaron. There are some photographs that have been made public, which are quite significant with the big black eye. Both claims communication breakdown and mistrust. There are also, Denise adopted a young girl named Eloise, and apparently they started the process of having him legally adopt her as well. She said he was such a great dad to her. But it's unclear whether that has gone through. I don't know if that's like a privacy issue in the courts or if it just never happened and they're not really talking about it. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to bring up the card view. When I do that, please hit the like button because it does help the algorithms. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Get in there, subscribe to me. I'm trying to get to 8,000 subscribers really soon. I want to be there very soon. Someone said to me, maybe by the end of the year. And I said, no, I need a little faster than that. So 10,000 is really my big goal because that's a big deal. But 8,000 would be nice. So about 43% of my viewers are not subscribed. Please give me a subscribe. I would love to see you over here. We've got a great community. The chat's really good on the lives. That being said, today, because you're going to get this on Thursday. Today, I will be live at 3:05 for my membership. I will be live at 4:05 for general audience. So if you want to see what one of my lives is like, get a reading for yourself, that'll be great. Also, Sunday morning, very unusual, I will be live because I am doing a Super Psychic Sunday sale where any of the super chats that you give during the live on Sunday morning can be applied as a discount to an already deeply discounted reading. So, but you have to book the reading while the live's going on, and it's only for the one day. It's only for Sunday. So I'm going to be working on Sunday. I usually don't, but Greg and I have some fun stuff to do with the band, with my son's band on Saturday. And so I figured I would open up the schedule for everybody else on Sunday. So I hope to see some of you there. Let's talk Denise and Aaron. And if you want to correct me about the pronunciation of his name, that's totally fine. So what is the current energy of the marriage right now? Pretty bad as far as I can see. But let's let the cards tell us a little bit more. Oh boy, transformation. The death card. So certainly transformation of what once was between them. And we'll see what yeah, that's irreconcilable differences. When we get that 5 of Pentacles, we're really talking about not communicating on the same level anymore, not investing in that relationship anymore. So what is the emotional undercurrent here for her and him? She is trying to build a new life. She is very focused on moving forward and building a new life. I think she just wants to be out of it. He is very anxious about something. And we are using the Sleepy Hollow, Legend of Sleepy Hollow Tarot. All the decks that I use in the readings will be noted in the description of the video if you'd like to get it for yourself. They're Amazon affiliate links. I do that just because I teach a lot of people, and they often say, where did you get that deck in that reading that you did last month? And I can never remember when it was. So let's see what his anxiety is. What is the origin or the reason for this anxiety? Let's see what's going on there. The Emperor, King of Wands, and Temperance. This is going to be about fairness in the divorce. And I think he is worried not only about his future endeavors with other ladies. That's where that King of Wands comes in here. He's a little bit worried about that. He's also worried about what he comes away from the relationship with. Now, I'm not certain what his finances are, what her finances are. Everybody's getting hit bad by the economy, but I think he really wants to break up the finances in a split fashion. And I do think just recently his family was showcased on a show, and they were showing what Denise's house looks like. That's such a mess. They all live on one level, and she left the other level, such a mess. She's been gone for 2 years, and her 15 dogs are there. Well, if the house is a mess and she's been gone for 2 years, I'm just saying, Greg. Uh-oh. I turned into Joe.
Oh, just saying.
I'm just saying. That's our neighbor. Our neighbor says stuff like that. I'm just saying, clean the place up. You can't complain that Denise Richards hasn't cleaned the place if she hasn't been there in 2 years. It's a huh?
That point's not her fault.
No, it's not her fault anymore. And if there's stuff laying all over the place, you know, there's not much that she can do about it if she's not there. So, but his whole family is living there. So I'm not picking sides here, but I don't know. So honesty and transparency. Let's look at Denise. Is she being honest? These are DA allegations. Is she being honest? King of Pentacles. That's a truth teller. Is he being honest? Wheel of Fortune. I think the narrative colors him in a very bad fashion. I think he looks very bad in this particular situation. And I don't think that there's much that he can do to correct that. You know, it's like if you are critical of someone, you know, and someone says, well, they were mean to me, you know, constructive criticism versus meanness, you know, it's kind of splitting hairs. So is there a soul contract between the two of them? The Magician and the Seven of Cups. I don't think that they are primary soul group people. When I talk about primary soul groups, the people that are in your immediate family are typically your primary soul groups. There are little groups that we kind of hang out with when we reincarnate and have experiences together. And then every now and then we get like an understudy that kind of comes in. I don't think that they are really primary, but I do think that there were many, many options in this particular relationship. They were both given the tools, the energy, and the strength to make all of the choices that were put in front of them. So that means it wasn't a rocky road to success or a rocky road to finding each other. I think everything was put in front of them and they were completely capable of doing it. So free will really does play a great deal into this. Let's see a little bit more about this. So here we go. We had these two cards up here. So let's see. Did Denise use her free will? So if they had free will, let's see what Denise's usage of her free will. Was it effective? What she needed, what she wanted, what she got. So what she needed was to be more assertive and more of a director of sorts in the relationship and the marriage. I think she let a few things slide. What she needs, what she wants to just forget about it. What she gets is, I think she does have to pay him to get out of the situation. What about him? How did he, Aaron, use his free will? How did he use his free will? What he needed, what he wanted, what he got. So I think that he did not roll up his sleeves quite enough in the relationship either. I think he did not. I think he coasted a little bit more and was more interested in investing in the people around them instead of in the marriage. So what does that mean? Like, there was, clearly goals for his family because his family are living in one of the homes. I'm not saying that we shouldn't invest in the children that are in the situation, but I do think that he married an entire family rather than an individual. And it may have served him better to have, kind of cleared away all of the noise and the static and the whatnot and focused on Denise, the person, rather than Denise, the mom, Denise, the celebrity, Denise, the actress, Denise, the model. I think there was a lot in there. Denise, the in-law, Denise, the ex-wife of Charlie Sheen. I think it was very complicated for him. And I think he almost bit off more than he can chew. What he wanted was, he did want to just love being in love. Queen of Cups loves being in love. She really does. And he wants to take care of people. What he gets is a relationship that crashes and burns and does not go away. It leaves a scar. This is going to leave him a little bit scarred. But don't you worry, kids, because we're going to do a yellow brick road for both of them. What is a yellow brick road, you ask me? A yellow brick road is my own brand of reading, where it's a spread that I do where we just kind of parse out the best parts, the worst parts, the pros, the cons, private goals, and the likely pivots. So before we get to that, Aaron is seeking spousal support. He denies any DA allegations. He claims that post temporary restraining order, Denise has called and come by. There was one incident where she said she was coming to get a dog and was at the front door, and his family slipped him out the back door. I think there's more to that story. He's reportedly hurt by public perception and career backlash. He has a wellness center. That's where they met. He has a sound healing and frequency practice, and he's lost clients from it. I like sound healing, though. I think it's good. F sharp is your number, or your note. What's that?
Shelly does it.
Huh?
Shelly does it now.
Yes. So what is his core wound here before we get to his yellow brick road? We're talking about Aaron in this part, guys. Just Aaron. core wound is the Hermit. He saw the red flags and he didn't listen to them. Accountability path. Queen of Cups, I'm never gonna fall in love again. Karmic lesson for him is that Six of Cups. You can't stick around in these situations remembering the good times. If it's not a good time right now, get out. I hate to say that. No, work on your marriages if that's the case. But that, you know, there is a component here where he was like, well, we could get back to where we were. Future, a healing work, his healing work. What does he need to do to heal? There's that Five of Swords again. We saw that initially. Can't get these cards out, guys. Three of Cups in reverse and the High Priestess. I do think that perhaps there is heightened emotions or substance abuse. We're going to say that. When we get that Three of Cups in reverse, it's not just substance abuse or over drinking or over imbibing. What it can be is an over being overly emotional as well, being you know, for lack of a better term, a drama queen or king. You know, it really is about dialing up those emotions, those things that make us feel whether or not, you know, we're insulted and we're trying to correct the course or something like that. You know, I think that is his healing path. I do think if he did have a wellness center, I hope he's not a substance person. But I think that you know, when you're steeped in an emotional situation, sometimes it's very, very hard to unprogram yourself from that. So I think that's a little bit of what's going on here. High Priestess here, tapping into his higher self, tapping into the higher callings that will let us feel better. The High Priestess does heal. She does heal. She gives us renewal. So let's do his Yellow Brick Road. What is going to help him maximize recovery or processing through the situation and then recovery? What is it that's going to do that? So the path. He needs to not restart right now. He needs to not worry about that. This really is address the moment in the moment. We need to do that. Where's our pressure? Pressure is looking back on the things that he did. He's got to stop saying, I wish I never met her. I wish I never went through with this. I wish I never did. I should have thought longer. He's got to stop doing that. What's done is done. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. Don't live in the past. You can't change it. Hidden hand is the Five of Wands. I think he can expect that there are going to be a number of people that are going to step into the situation, into the divorce, and give testimony that is emotional, dramatic. I think we're going to see some people coming to the fore that say, yeah, he was kind of a jerk to her, unfortunately. Hate to say that. Public face. Temperance. He's got to not respond to any of this. So he's got to stay out of the papers, stay out of the clapbacks. Don't do it. No more, like, you know, no Instagrams or anything like that. Don't do it, dude. Just kind of carry on. You're just going to move through this situation. What else do we have? Private goal. Seven of Cups. I'm sorry, Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. I always forget that this is the Eight of Cups. Looks wrong to me. Eight of Cups is the private goal is really to move on. But I would give Aaron some advice here and say the move on doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be an arduous journey into the future. It can be just a regular journey. It can just be a part of your world. Not like Ariel, but it's just a part of your world. This is just a process that you have to go through and likely pivot. Two of Pentacles. They both go in different directions. Everybody's happy. The marriage is dead. Look at it. Marriage is dead. So easy, easy, easy enough. Easy enough? Is it emotional? Yes. Do splits suck? They absolutely suck. There's nothing good about them. So let's see what we have with Denise. We're going into part tres now. Welcome to part tres. So Denise Richards accuses Aaron of repeated DV. Hope you guys are getting what I'm saying. The temporary restraining order hearings held early in October 2025. She has 3 daughters, Sam, 20, Lola, 19. They are both Charlie Sheen's girls, and Eloise, 13, is the little girl that she adopted. She is prioritizing her home stability for the gals. Actually, probably is a really fun household. Those are fun ages. She's re-engaging professionally, acting and content creation while navigating intense media coverage. Publicly, the split has been described as very difficult by her, but she's thanked her fans for support. So let's look at her emotional landscape. Let's see what's going on here. So I think it's very interesting that we got the 6 of Wands, because the emotional landscape, she feels very, very confident about what she has disclosed in terms of her treatment in the marriage. She's refusing to return to a situation like that. And she is recovering very strongly. She is really putting the work in to recover and move away from this, which I think is highly, highly encouraging. Is there any shadow work that she needs to do? Now, we all know Charlie Sheen. We all know Tiger Blood. I loved his Tiger Blood face. It was so chaotic. Tiger Blood, I'm immortal. It was a very funny face. But is there any shadow work or patterns that Denise is experiencing? So she does routinely get involved. No offense to Denise Richards, but she gets involved with individuals that are somewhat different from her, and there is some friction there. And I think the friction initially is good. It's like kind of adding more to the recipe or the equation. And I think she does not want to date someone who is like her. I think, oh, he's like no one I've ever known before. He's very different. He does something very different. Having a wellness spa and being Charlie Sheen are very different things. They're very different things. This is someone who presumably is focused on being better, getting better, helping people get better. And it's almost as if there were some red flags. Again, I'm going to say that there were red flags. And then all of a sudden she realizes that this is not the situation. This is not the individual. They unmask themselves and she winds up getting hurt. And I do think that this is because she would take more of a dominant position without being the director of the relationship. I think she would voice her likes and dislikes and anticipated more action on the part of this particular spouse and possibly former spouses. So I think, she's kind of disappointed that at the end of the day, she winds up holding the bag. Again, like I said, the twin, or were they twins that there were a couple of kids, I think, that Charlie Sheen and Brooke Mueller had that she had custody, that Denise Richards had custody of for a brief period of time. And again, noble act. Like, I think that was very noble of her to do that. Keeping the siblings together. So, or half siblings, or however you want to slice and dice it. My steps, I call them my siblings. So, you guys, you do you. But I think this is something that routinely happens to her. So what about her support systems? Does she have good support systems around her? Good support systems. Not really. I think this is her attorney. I think this is some of the women from Real Housewives. I think this is some of them, but they're not great. She doesn't have any ride or dies. It's I think everybody, when you get to our age, like everybody's kind of busy. Yeah. And I think perhaps there's a lot of people that aren't ready to ride to the rescue because this is yet another divorce, which is terrible. You really shouldn't do that. What's my advice for her in terms of having support? Sometimes this is a fight that we have to fight on our own, and removing the emotion from it and being very clinical and logical. The marriage is over. We're getting divorced. This isn't about fighting over this one, that one, another one. I'm confident. We'll ask a bonus question at the end about, this pack of dogs that she has that allegedly he is taking care of, him and his family. We'll ask about that because that seems like, a big responsibility. 15 dogs. I don't care if they're little. That's a lot of dogs. But she's got to take the emotionality out of it. She's got to really be clinical about this and just say, you know what, there's nothing left to fight about. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to show up and try and get one of the dogs back. I'm just not going to do it. Let's do this. We are going to do her yellow brick road right now. Her path, safety, sanctity, security, securing what she needs to do for her family, which resonates with the research that I did, that she's looking for stability for her girls. The pressure, the King of Cups, he's angry. She's angry. The emotions are all upside down. Again, getting rid of those emotions is going to be really, really important for her. The hidden hand. It's the 10 of Wands. Interestingly enough, that is the emotion that is exhausted. We don't have any fuel left for any more emotions. It's all gone. We don't have to worry about it. So I think that's a good thing for her. Public face. Queen of Pentacles, building a new life. We saw this a little bit earlier, guys. Queen of Pentacles is back. Private goal. Healing again, recovering from the wound, and her likely pivot is transformation. Is there any kind of surprise we can expect from her? 1, 2, 3. So surprises we can expect from her, and these are 3 very dark cards. The Tower, the Hermit, and the 7 of Cups in reverse. She is going to learn from this experience finally. I think this is her final hurdle with these types of individuals. And I think she is going to truly limit her choices in terms of relationship moving forward. I think lesson is learned. I have a feeling that we're going to hear more from him because I think he's not going to be happy with the money that he walks with. So let's talk about them puppies that the family has. What is going to happen to this pack of dogs? What's happening right now? It's not looking good. He's not thrilled about having to care for them, which I think is really odd because he's been caring for them for some time. What is the outcome right now? Temperance. The outcome is not good. Now, I know there was an argument about one of the dogs that did have to get put down. She was upset that she wasn't consulted about it. Sometimes that happens. I took my Rottweiler Buster to the vet, and I thought they were just going to x-ray his leg, and they said, nope, today's the day. He's got bone cancer. He's got to go. And that was a very unexpected thing. And unfortunately, that was where we were at. The tumor had grown in 5 days from not being visible, just being a limp, to being visibly seen in his leg. So sometimes you have situations like that. Buster's actually right up there. His ashes are right in my eyesight. Line of sight. So what should happen with these dogs? What should happen? This is what we're going to wrap it up on. So the moon, it's undetermined just yet. Two of Swords, we don't know what direction it's going to go. I don't think I like the decision of the judge if they leave this up to the judge, that Emperor in reverse. I don't think that Aaron is going to have a property that's appropriate for it. And I don't think that Denise has a property now that's appropriate to put all those dogs on. I think the judge is going to say, we've got to rehome some of these animals and we've got to do it lickety split. So is Denise going to be happy with that? She just wants to get through the divorce. Is he going to be happy with that? I think this will be a weapon that may be used later to vilify her. She didn't even care about her dog. She left him there for 2 years. But you can't say that. You know, if she left him there for 2 weeks and you're complaining about it, that's one thing. But she left him there for 2 years. Like, you've had 2 years. Like, what is going on? You know, it's not very clear. I may have that 2-year thing wrong, but it's not very clear whose dogs they are. So, oh, what a mess. But I hope that this offers some constructive advice to Denise and Aaron. I hate to see people split up. I hate to see people sad like this. It's one of the reasons I do what I do. And I hope that they make this work. I hope that they make this split work, not the relationship work. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how we problem solve with tarot. So that's what we do over here. And in the meantime, I want to remind you again, I'm going to have a live on Sunday morning that's going to lead into a really cool sale that I have, discounted price. If you do super chats, super stickers during the live on Sunday morning, you can apply those for a further discount on your reading. So hope to see some of you there. Hope to see some of you later today in my live, whether you're a member or a general audience person. I'm always glad to see you guys chatting away and cultivating such an amazing community here. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the future.